You know what's crazy? I think people are finally starting to wake up. Yeah, it's been really wild seeing this happen. Ever since, 16 years ago? Oh, my knees are turning into dust right now, literally as I'm standing right here. We had the PlayStation 4 and all the goodwill that PlayStation made with that specific console, using Shuhei Yoshida as a prop to give Adam Boyes a physical disc and say, this is how you share your games on PlayStation 4. And that catapulting that entire brand and even that generation into a huge non-stop machine that would pump out twip away quality bangers all day long that were honestly, in my opinion, more cinematic than actual gameplay, but we'll get into that later, trust me, don't you worry. And it looks like what we also saw as well was that leadership at PlayStation really knew what was going on with the industry, with the users, and even with their own customers. But fast forward those 16 years and things look a little bit different. Non-stop live service title after live service title. Insane, ridiculous decisions that are so anti-customer. Remember, we don't use the word consumer around here, that it actually boggles the mind at what these companies and corpos and CEOs are actually thinking about all the actual goodwill they've built up over this time frame. So watching as the entire gaming industry, a huge majority of users on PlayStation, and even so many game journalists can't seem to comprehend what is in fact going on and have honestly, in my opinion, stopped finally defending this corporation. And let me tell you, it's about damn time. But you see, the problem isn't just with what's been going on with PlayStation. The problem is, in my opinion, the actual leadership, clearly unable to communicate, unable to understand, and focusing solely on trying to make their shareholders more money rather than giving you the actual content, the actual product, and the games you are in fact looking for, while also giving you the ownership as well. With things like variable rate pricing being added into the PlayStation Store, and not having any access to basically other storefronts that you could have on that system as well, even though we all know that these consoles are basically just toned down PCs, pretty much with their own operating system. Yeah, it's not even a mystery anymore about this entire thing. We're not dealing with stuff like down to the metal. But alas, like I said before, the insane amount of live service titles, the massive amounts of projects being canceled, the fact that Insomniac is the only developer in that entire set of studios, literally carrying PlayStation this entire generation, even though their last couple of entries, yikes, they've been a little bit sussy-wussy baka if you ask me. So in my opinion, it looks like PlayStation has honestly gone around and been cashing in all that goodwill those past 10 years for short-term gains while sacrificing everything that they've built up with you as a customer. And it looks like people are finally trying to figure out who exactly is at fault. And you're never going to believe who they're trying to point the finger at. But before we dig into that entire insane shit pie, it looks like there's also other issues as well between Xbox and even PlayStation. And it turns out that if they don't do the one thing everybody's telling them, they're going to lose billions of dollars. And it's not going to be pretty. Because according to The Gamer on Twitter posting, analyst claims that PlayStation and Xbox will lose billions if next-gen consoles cost $1,000. Brother, if you thought people hated PlayStation and Xbox before, if these next-gen systems cost $1,000, you're going to see a lot of people hate them at that exact same moment. This whole thing is going to be insane. Watching as these companies, especially companies like Microsoft and Xbox, who are part of the RAM crisis as well because of Copilot AI and Satya Nadella, really just goes to show that they're trying to make every single penny back all the time, while putting you in a situation where they want you to pay more money, yet blame you if you don't spend enough as well by shutting down studios, closing down projects, and even eliminating the game that you wanted to pay for from the very beginning because they couldn't afford the actual cost. And in my opinion, all the business side of everything has zero all to do with you as an actual customer. What is the life and or death of a complete studio or a game or even the actual budgets of video games have to be relied and placed upon the shoulders of the customer giving their $60, I'm sorry, $70, I'm sorry, $80 to $100 for a simple video game when it's all just been rehashed, recycled, and brought over again and again. And what's next generation even going to do? Give us more ray tracing, more 30 FPS, have us buy another pro system on top of that? No, that's going to be stupid. As if it wasn't bad enough for the price increases, now we're staring down the barrel of something that could be exponentially even worse. And it looks like these companies are not going to budge at selling anything at a loss, bro. And it's not good. With the article by The Gamer stating, according to analysis conducted by Ampere via VGC, if the PS6 and Xbox's Project Helix were to cost $1,000 each, their respective sales totals could be as much as 38% lower after 5 years on the market than the PS5 and Series X have managed so far. That would mean 65 million PlayStation 6s, a lower total than any other home PlayStation console in history, and just 24 million Xbox consoles sold. According to Ampere, PlayStation and Xbox could lose as much as $3.4 billion if they push forward with charging 4 figures for the next consoles. To avoid that, both need to find a way to charge $700 and make it work. Ampere has some advice on how the gaming juggernauts can potentially make that happen. Although despite savings potentially in the billions, I get the feeling that PlayStation and Xbox won't want to hear it. And honestly, I don't think Xbox or PlayStation want to hear that kind of talk either at all. These companies, these shareholders, they want to make as much money as possible, as quickly as possible, and sacrifice long-term actual customers, giving them money over years and even decades for short-term massive profits right now. And the craziest part is this always comes back to other things that we've noticed. And there's 2 specific terms. One is called a brand deposit, and the other is called a brand withdrawal. And PlayStation right now is withdrawing every single deposit that you have given them as an actual brand in order to make as much money in this day and age at this very moment. Hell, a couple of days ago, we even talked about Hiroki Totoki saying that right now, their job is not to make money, but their job is to survive in this entire economy and even in this technological space that they're all dealing with. And we can see this happen across the board, and that explains so much. Every single company is trying to pull everybody back into their own little ecosystems and then ratchet up the pricing on them and squeezing blood from a stone. It's why PlayStation is moving everything to all digital. At the same time, you're seeing other things happen as well. Their focus on live service titles, which is going to come up now too, and the fact that they've canceled so many other projects or are more leaning towards staying in that same safe space of third-person cinematic cover-based games with stealth elements. The problem is the live service bubble is in fact popping, and the crazier part is that PlayStation has no idea what they're doing, and fans are actually pissed. And they're looking for a target. And it turns out it might even be Herman Hulst himself. Because according to VGC, PlayStation and Guerrilla Games co-op spin-off Horizon Hunters Gathering is reportedly being overhauled after poor testing feedback, with plans to strip out the game's live service elements. Oh, now is when they want to go ahead and restructure Horizon's Hunters Gathering, whatever the they want to call it right now. Now is when they're like, hey guys, maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe we shouldn't do a live service game. Maybe we should go back to the drawing board. It couldn't have been all those months ago when the trailer first came out about this and Guerrilla Games was so excited to share it with you, and look what happened to the actual YouTube like and dislike ratios. Oh, that is not looking good. And this is the same company that literally doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down on Bungie and Marathon, talking about getting some good stuff coming and everything else across that board. Then they're also still going around and redoing Fair Games. I'm sorry, not Fair Games, Break-In. Yeah, they had to rename it because apparently people couldn't find the fun when playtesting that game either. This whole thing has been an absolute disaster, when literally right now PlayStation has all the IPs, they have all the ability and actually all the talent that they wanted to do if they wanted to actually make a true live service game. Hey, Last of Us Online could have been there right from the very beginning, but still, they decided to cancel that down too. SOCOM is literally sitting in their back pocket, ready to go at any specific time, but hey, they don't want to do that either. Apparently, it's not going to fit with the modern sensibilities of today's culture. Oh no, a military sim with 5v5 team-based strategies. Who would ever want to play that kind of game? Everybody? Literally everyone? Hello? I mean, if I know. If Ubisoft can make Rainbow Six Siege work, I'm pretty sure PlayStation can make SOCOM work right now in today's day and age too. But still, we've got nothing. And it's honestly hilarious and crazy watching this company literally step on its own foot, step on a rake, and then sit there and say, you know what? We'll just keep doing what we're doing right now because we have all the brand deposits from all of our users, even though they are withdrawing all those deposits and turning around and screwing their own customer base for short-term gains. But there's even more to the article, and it always seems to get worse. With the article stating, a new Bloomberg report, however, suggests that the game has not been performing well in private testing, and plans are now underway to overhaul it, particularly with regards to its live service features. According to sources familiar with PlayStation's plans, the game's live service component is now being stripped out, with plans to turn it into a more traditional co-op multiplayer game with a story mode and smaller scope. Bloomberg reports that while the game has not yet been canceled, staff were told this week that they have until December to show executives that the game should remain in active development. Many of the staff assigned to Horizon Hunters Gathering will also reportedly be moved to a different project, which is also set to be evaluated at the end of the year. Okay, we all know what this means. This means the game was not testing correctly at all. And it also means PlayStation has been doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, dare I even say quintupling down on their entire live service strategy. And a couple of parts of those paragraphs and that article really stuck out to me. They want to go ahead and make sure that the game is going to be successful and then reevaluate what's going on with their other projects too, which tells me they're going to fire some people. Some, maybe a lot of people. And in my opinion, they're going to start chopping down positions, canceling more projects, and making things even worse in this space because clearly PlayStation has no idea what the they're even doing. But it looks like people are in fact pissed, and they're pointing all at one specific person. And in my opinion, instead of firing all those developers, there's one person who should get the boot instead. And that is Herman Hulst. Fans demand leadership change at PlayStation Studios over project setbacks. An opinion piece from Push Square criticizes Hulst, who has led PlayStation Studios since 2019, for delays, canceled live service games like Concord, and recent troubles including Guerrilla Scope production on its co-op title. Fans and commentators like Kotaku's Ethan Gatch echo the frustration, pointing to a pattern of underwhelming PS5 results and questioning how long Hulst will last. While some successes like Helldivers 2 shine through, the wave of reboots and shutdowns has many demanding accountability from Hulst and former CEO Jim Ryan. And you know what? That isn't just the only time it's been brought up. In fact, Push Square made another article recently polling their own fans, and it looks like all of you guys want that boy out ASAP. And honestly, I'm kind of with it. Because also according to Push Square, 92% of PS5 enthusiasts believe PS Studios needs new management. With the article stating, of over 2,500 enthusiast PlayStation gamers surveyed in a recent Push Square poll, an eye-watering 92% believes PS Studios needs new management. This follows a slew of own goals from the current hierarchy, which has seen games canceled, studios closed, and a lot of time lost. As I wrote in a recent article, Naughty Dog hasn't shipped a new game yet this entire generation, and neither has Sony Bend. Bluepoint was assigned an online God of War game before the project was canceled, and the studio was subsequently shuttered. And even Ethan Gatch on Twitter posted, Herman Hulst became the head of PlayStation Studios in 2019 and went on to lead a console generation full of delayed games, killed projects, canceled live service projects, and mostly disastrous acquisitions. It's hard to see him outlasting this fiscal year. I'm sorry if I'm laughing while reading all of these posts and these actual headlines and even these articles. It's honestly driving me insane because literally PlayStation people and PlayStation fans are getting like the 1% of pain that Xbox dudes have felt since the Xbox One generation all this entire time. And they're freaking the out about it, realizing, what are we gonna do? How do we survive? What's gonna happen? And Xbox dudes are like, first time? Yo, this has to be the most wild thing I've ever seen. Calling for the resignation of Herman Hulst, finally criticizing what this company has been doing all of these years and these past 2 generations. And finally, everyone's eyes are being pulled open after this company finally went around and did the one thing that would piss everybody off in the entire gaming industry. And now it took you guys 6 years in this gen and 10 years in the previous gen, as if the generation before that wasn't bad enough when they wanted to charge you $600 at that moment in time for a PS3. Remember, get a second job for it. It'll make you feel accomplished when you finally buy your PS3 and save up enough for it too. We didn't forget. We never forget. They did the same thing again with the PS5 Pro. First it was $700, now it's $900. Then they're taking away your physical discs. Y'all, this has to be the craziest thing I've ever seen. With this company having such insanely stupid leadership, it honestly boggles my mind that so many people have not just finally woken up and realized, oh, this is just a company. And even with all the studio closures, all the canceled projects and everything else in between, there are still fanboys who defend this company. And it's honestly sickening how it actually happens. And they're even still in the media as well. Hell, IGN just put out an article recently saying that the actual amount of physical discs sold in this past fiscal year is lower than it's ever actually been. And everybody is pissed off at IGN for still trying to defend the use of the same talking points that they're using from PlayStation. And the thing is, all these pieces all fit together. Herman Hulst doing the most stupid thing possible, but yet still only focusing not on the customer, but instead on the shareholder return and how much money is going to be being made from you being stuck in their digital ecosystem. The same decision of going around and spending $1,000 on a system. Even though they'll lose billions of dollars, it doesn't matter to them. All they care about is trying to make more money off of you as a customer in their own space. And they're going to keep doing that. And they think that those same kinds of games, those same kinds of titles are going to be exactly what's going to keep you in that platform. And they don't realize that people have actually had enough. Hell, even some of the biggest fanboys on this app have finally had enough. Which is honestly hilarious to see. With Weesum tweeting out, is there a job that pays $200K to just kind of walk around? And Neo GameSpark quote tweeting him with a picture of Herman Hulst. With even Payo on Twitter saying, huge agree here. Herman Hulst has done generational damage to the PS brand. Bad leadership, toxic positivity, and the biggest fail in company history. Concord. How does he still have this position? And even the PlayStation general himself, Colin Moriarty, tweeting this. I've been complaining about Herman Hulst's leadership ad nauseum for years. Listen to Sacred, and Hiroki Totoki Literature Club already demoted him once. So Sony seemingly agrees? The question is this. If PlayStation Studios' fumbles aren't his fault, whose are they? Take action! The fact that it's actually Colin, of all people, calling this out and saying, hey, all these insane things happen, what the fuck is even going on, has to be the funniest thing to ever actually see. These dudes have been parading around how great PlayStation has been ever since the PS1. And granted, I love the PS1. I love my PlayStation 2. It's on my desk, actually, and I play it almost every single night. But the problem is this company hasn't been PlayStation since, honestly, the PS3, or even the tail end of it. Actually, no, since the beginning of the PS3, charging you $600 for that system in that time space. That was honestly an insane thing to even try to do in the first place. And it shows that PlayStation is doing nothing more than collecting every single bit of greed they possibly can and passing it off to you as a customer and giving you it as prestige, as class, as above everything else, as if PlayStation's the grandiose thing in gaming, when right now it's the exact opposite. It's actually a dumpster fire, a trash fire, a literal disaster of everything. And again, like I said before, these dudes are all melting down online. These articles are being written, and they're experiencing like 1% of what Xbox dudes have been dealing with for the past 16 years. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Our entire stuff is crumbling down. And Xbox guys are like, well, this never happened before, I guess. This has to be the funniest thing I've ever actually seen. In my opinion, though, Herman Hulst needs to go 100%. The second Blue Point closed, he should have been out the door with them right behind the entire thing. They literally walked out Jim Ryan. They walked out Sean Layden. I don't get why they can't also walk out Herman Hulst and the other guy that's with him too, right the out of the building, because clearly these boys don't know what the they're doing at all. PlayStation, I mean, think about it. Go back in time and look at all the insane games that you had back on the PlayStation 2 when you were like, yo, video games, am I right? And even then, that's just one stack of games that I have in my shelf. Here's my PS3 catalog. I mean, Jesus Christ, bro. We can literally have all these games ready to go at any specific time, but everybody in this company is so focused on multi-billion-dollar budgets, multi-billion-dollar returns, and multi-billion-dollar money, when all they really need to do is just make a good video game. PlayStation has a lot to learn, and I feel like they're going to learn it very quickly and in a very rude way. In fact, I think it's going to be an insane rude awakening for what they're going to be experiencing. People are going to lose their jobs, more studios will in fact close, and hopefully those same CEOs get the boot out as well, and they bring in the right people to fix the actual system that's happening inside PlayStation. Like I've said before on this channel, make PlayStation weird again, and also put more deposits back into your customers rather than trying to maximize short-term gains. And things could be a whole lot different. But as always, I want to hear what you guys got to say about this in the comments section down below. Do you think Herman Hulst deserves the boot? Do you think PlayStation can actually recover? Or do you think everything is going to hell in a handbasket and they're never going to make it out of the hole that they've put themselves in? I want to hear what you guys got to say. And speaking about what you guys got to say, here's the comment of the day from yesterday's video. With J Dave TV saying, if you want to make a statement, just don't buy the content. Don't buy their games. Don't pre-order. Don't buy the console. Stop being a consumer. That's the best statement you can make. And in my opinion, JD is once again completely correct on the entire aspect. If you want PlayStation to change, if you want to make sure that they give you the games that they want, stop giving them money. They've gone ahead and removed every single withdrawal from you that you've deposited into that company, that you've given them. Your time, your blood, your sweat, your tears, your defense of them consistently. Yo, what have they done for you in return? They've taken that deposit, they've cashed it in, and they've thrown you to the side. It's time for these companies to learn exactly who the real one running this place actually is. And it's not the CEOs, and it certainly isn't the corporation. It's you, the customer. But as always, if you guys want to see more of this kind of content though, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, and live streams, subscribe to the channel. If you want Discord access or emotes to those live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. Look, if you don't want to spend the buck, bro, don't even sweat it. Just come on down to the streams Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here on the channel as I wear a banana suit and get insulted with text-to-speech. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Don't forget, Saturday nights live, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel. Do you guys want even more of me though? Check out Oh No It's Alex Gaming. Link to that channel is in the description down below. New videos go up every single Monday and I stream there daily around 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. We're playing Mortal Shell 2 and having the chat basically just call me DSP, say that I do mean things to my refrigerator, and also make fun of me relentlessly for being bad at video games. Yeah, it's one of those. Trust me, I'm going to make you laugh through your workday. Come on down and hang out. Oh No It's Alex Gaming. Link to the channels in the description down below. With all that being said though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!